How's everybody doing today? It is January 10th, 2021, and I have a few articles here we're going to go through. There are a few that are extremely important that I just came across that I have to show you. So please stick out through this video. I will keep it as short as I can. Thank you all for the support, the prayers, and just always, being there in the comment section, and, I appreciate everybody sharing the videos and continuing to fight with me to get this truth out there. And I am now uploading on BitChute as well. I'm going to start doing more live streams, which will be on DLive as well. So I'm going to try to spread out as much as I can. But if you haven't subscribed to my backup channels, it's ErikSeesAll 2 on here on YouTube, and then just ErikSeesAll on BitChute, okay? So let's get into this, alright? This is coming out of Healthcare and Pharma. It was from January 8th. It says, China to provide CD19 vax free of charge, official. Well, what do you know, right? You've seen this in America with the flu shots, where they're not only made them free, they have actually offered them. They'll give you, $25 discount card, or they'll give you, a $10 gift card to the store. They'll give you free groceries. They'll, it's crazy to get these, these flu shots, get you to take them. Okay, so when you're seeing that, those should give off red flags, but I guess to some it doesn't, But let's read a little bit of this. It says, China will provide CD19 vaxes free of charge once they become available to the general public, government authorities said on Saturday. It says, National Health Commission official said that while manufacturing and transport of have cost, the government can provide these for free to the individuals. Our people don't have to pay a single cent for these. Of course not, right? I mean, why would they want you to pay for them, okay? If you have to pay for them, then there's a chance that what? Oh, you won't go get it, right? China in late December approved its first for general public use. 3 had already been given to limited groups at high risk of infection, including medical workers, through an emergency use program. It says, the country widened the inoculation scheme in mid-December to more key groups such as employees in the food and public transport sectors in an effort to stem a resurgence in the winter and spring. See how this is all played so far ahead? This is what we always talk about this, seeming to be planned or seeming to continue to be exactly how they were talking about it. Real quick, you see this up here. It says Indonesia finds body parts, debris, detects emergency signals. Unbelievable. It was around 50 people. I'm going to try to do a video on it, but obviously it went down. It was missing not too long ago, and now as of 5 o'clock in the morning when I'm doing this, obviously they lost everybody, which is just horrible. And if this happens to be a MAX 8 plane, that will be crazy. I'll have to look into it. I hope it's not. But let's get back to this, okay? But pray for all those people. That's horrible, And it crashed right off of Jakarta, Indonesia. Same thing where the other one went down. So that's nuts. It says, we have found some local governments had charged individual fees. We demanded immediate rectification. Look at that, The local governments have since properly implemented the free policy. So think about that. Not only are they making it free, look how hard they're pushing that part, right? Immediate rectification. You gotta go give them their money back. So, once again, you just see the end game. You see one of their main goals, right? Yeah, well, check this out, right? They've been pushing this since the beginning. I've always talked about how the symptoms are literally pretty much anything you can think of, including no symptoms, right? And how they continued to blur the lines between what flu symptoms were and what CV symptoms were. And now that's all come full circle, okay? The doctors even come out and said that you can't tell, a normal doctor, without doing tests, can't tell which it is, okay? Now, maybe because they're possibly could be one and the same, but we'll leave that up in the air, right? It says, people without symptoms spread the virus in more than half of the cases. to CDC model finds. This is big, people. You got to realize this, because these are the type of studies and types of, stories that you start seeing where it allows them to push so many more restrictions on all of us that don't even have a symptom, that don't have anything, aren't even sick, okay? It says, the finding underscores the importance of following guidelines to wear a mask and maintain social distancing. Oh yeah, of course, right? It says, people with no symptoms transmit more than half of all the cases of the novel CV, according to a model developed by researchers at the CDC and prevention. Don't you love how it's always like these models, a model developed? This is supposed to be some massively unknown thing, right? This unknown virus that's wiping out everything in the world. And, they seem to know how to figure out a ton about it every single time, though. It's kind of funny how they always say it's unknown, but then they know what it's going to do, and they know what it's done, and it's just, it doesn't add up a lot, at least not to me. It says their findings reinforce the importance of the agency's guidelines, regardless of whether you feel ill. Wear a mask, wash your hands, stay socially distant, and get a CB test, of course. That advice has been constant refrain in a pandemic responsible for more than 350,000 deaths in the United States. Yeah, well, if you believe that, it's up to you. It says 59% of all transmission came from the people without symptoms. Under the model's baseline scenario, that includes 35% of new cases from people who infect others before they show symptoms, and 24% that come from people who never develop symptoms at all. These are just a bunch of numbers that they just throw out, right? These are just confusing to people, and all they're going to get is this. The bottom line is controlling the CD19 pandemic really is going to require what? Controlling the silent pandemic of transmission from person without symptoms. I want you to see that word again. Controlling. That is what this is all about, okay? Please understand that, okay? It says the community mitigation tools that we have need to be utilized broadly to be able to slow the spread of SARS-CoV-2 from all infected persons, at least until what? We have those things widely available, yes, because that's the end game, right? Well, here, let's keep going real quick. Here, we're going to jump over to this one, because this is kind of crazy, right? You're starting to see more and more lockdowns. Look at this. Lebanon begins new lockdown amid surge in CV cases. Look at cases, people. Cases. I've talked about this over and over again. They switched the terminology a few months in. They stopped talking about deaths. They switched it to cases, and they've ran with it. And people have just gotten caught up in that. If you think back years before this happened, okay, did you ever hear anything in the headline about cases like this? Did you ever hear when you had, say, H1N1, when you had those bad outbreaks, did they say, oh, there was 50 million, H1N1 cases? No, they don't talk like that. That's the whole thing. They're pushing the numbers, and they may have in the H1N1 at the end because they were probably trying to push it the same way. But I'm saying, in your normal, day-to-day thing, when they talk about these types of, any type of thing that's happened like this, any virus or disease or whatever it is, they don't talk like that. They talk about the deaths, right? Because that's what the end game is, right? What matters? Will you survive it, right? What is the survival rate? What is the fatality rate, etc., etc.? It's not what is the rate that you're going to get it and get better, right? That doesn't make any sense. I don't care about how many cases somebody has if they're still going to survive 99.8% of the time, right? All right. But look at, Lebanon, so they're doing this. Look, this is a 25-day, 25-day national lockdown Thursday to limit the spread as infections cases hit a record high in the tiny Mediterranean nation and patients overwhelm the healthcare sector. And it's just sad. It's so sad seeing this. It's happening everywhere. Look, in Israel, the government prepared a 2-week shutdown as the country's infection rate soared again. Look at the lockdown in Lebanon is the third since the first case was reported in late February. It will close most businesses and limit traffic by imposing an odd and even license plate rule on alternating days. It also reduces the number of flights at the country's only international airport. I mean, look at this. They're checking. You can't do anything. Look at a daily 6 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew will be in effect as of Thursday until February 1st. Also, on Thursday, Lebanon broke its single-day record of what? CV cases for the third straight day with a reported 4774 in infections over the past 24 hours. See? Okay, how many people died? I want to know the deaths. Tell me exactly how many people died in this exact time. No, I shouldn't have to go look at it. You should be telling me right here. Maybe it's because it's not high enough, right? It's all right, though. Now let's keep going, though, because what did it just say right here, right? That the end thing was, what did they have to do, right? Until, right here, right? Look at least until we have all the vaccines widely available, right? Because that's what they've been telling everybody. As soon as we get all these vaccines out and we get, 75% or whatever the percentage is that need to have it to get herd immunity, etc., right? You can have your life back and go back to normal. That's what they've been telling you, right? You won't have your lockdowns. You won't have to deal with any of this stuff. As soon as we get that out, the vax is the answer, right? You've heard it everywhere, all right? Check this out from the BBC, okay, from yesterday. It says, lockdowns here to stay, even with the vax plan. It says, more lockdowns and social distancing, even with a global vax rollout in place. That's the sobering forecast for 2021 from Lawrence Boone, the chief economist of Organization of the Economic Cooperation and Development. We probably have another 6 to 9 or 12 months of this ahead. Did you like that? 6 to 9 to 12. I mean, why don't you pick something a little bit? That's like saying 1 to 2 to 5 years. I mean, it's ridiculous, It says, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying that we've seen that it worked in 2020. Hold on. It worked? I thought everything's horrible, getting worse. That's why all the lockdowns are happening. So how did it work? Explain to me how it worked. It says we must keep going, both with the non-pharmaceutical measures, the government support, and deploy the vax as long and efficiently, as fast, as efficiently, and securely as possible. That's right, get it in as fast as they can. A new strain of the virus has led to fresh lockdowns in many parts of the world, including countries in Asia, such as South Korea, that have up until now managed to constrain new infections. See, look at this too. I'm going to do another video on this right here. Look at England's new national lockdown becomes law. There is so much going on right now, everyone. I mean, you have to see it. Every day there's, another story, another event that's happening that they are using and building. Everything is a stepping stone that they're being able to put all together to where they're being able to do what they're doing now to you, which is taking your rights, taking everything that you've ever been able to do away from you, right? Because you are the problem if you don't obey, if you don't listen, okay? Like right here, look at this. This is in the United States, right? Pope Francis astonished by the mob attack on the U.S. Capitol. And what I meant by the U.S., he's talking about it in the U.S., right? This horrible thing that happened, right? And I gotta be careful about this because a lot of people have been getting shut down just talking about this. The situation that happened at the Capitol. They're calling them thugs, the mob. You have so many different opinions on what has happened. If it was even those supporters, if it was anti-IFA, it doesn't matter. Any way you look at it, it is going to be used against you. That's all there is to it, okay? And when he comes out and said, he told a private Italian broadcaster that he was astonished by the mob attack. So he's astonished. Well, what do I keep saying about this? They're going to use this, right, over and over again. And these are just little ones that I'm seeing. I saw another article yesterday, the same thing. They didn't even want to it was American Airlines, they didn't want to let them on the flights, okay? Now look at this. This is from the 8th. This says Alaska Airlines put 14 people on the no-fly list after disruption out of D.C. It says, Alaska Airlines said on Friday it has banned 14 passengers from future travel with the carrier after what it called unacceptable behavior on a flight from Washington Dulles to Seattle. It says U.S. airlines and law enforcement agencies bolstered security at Washington area airports after reports of mob behavior by supporters of President Donald Trump on flights into the region before Wednesday's siege on the U.S. Capitol, raising concern about their departure. See, they're using it everywhere. So now they're using what happened there. A very small group of people, right? Whoever it was, it doesn't matter. My point is they're using what happened there, okay, to now be able to take away your... Look at now these people can't go get on a plane. They're on a no-fly list. These are just one of many. I've seen all different kinds of things that they're restricting us from. And then you start with your curfews, your lockdowns. But I'm talking about just where they're not allowing you to do things like this. Now you can't fly. Next you won't be able to drive. Next you won't be able to go here or go there. You have to see that, right? You know, it's just a step-by-step stepping stone, okay? You know, and you have all these people out there, right, doing, and I don't mean just at the Capitol, I meant when all the protesting was happening, all the rioting was happening for the last year, I kept saying, you know, these masks are a false sense of security, right? People are like, oh, I got a mask on, it doesn't matter, I can go out there and I can do this and that and this, you know, and they're already picking up tons. They've already arrested so many people just from the Capitol incident, okay, and most of them all had masks on, and that's what I kept saying. They have that false sense of security, and I'll check this out. Look at this. Facial recognition. Now algorithms can see through face masks. I had done a report on this probably 6 months ago, and there was a couple different reports out of China that they were working on this, and I'm sure it was already done. Okay, but they said they only needed from the bridge of your nose up, and they could still identify you perfectly. You know, and people think that, oh, I have a mask on, I can go do this, I can do that, I can get away with it. No, you're not. You're only just going out there and hanging yourself. They're giving you the rope and you're hanging yourself. That's it. That's all there is to it. It says the U.S. Department of Homeland Security has carried out trials to test whether facial recognition algorithms could correctly identify masked individuals. It says the U.S. Department of Homeland Security is piloting a facial recognition technologies that can see through face masks with promising level of accuracy. Oh yeah, when they come out and tell you like this, you have to understand that they are 10, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years ahead. So this is no doubt already out. It already is 100% accurate and already does it, okay? Because when they're coming out saying that there's a promising level of accuracy, trust me, it is perfect. They can do it very easily. They're never going to come out and tell you what they actually have, okay? You're always going to get, they're always going to tell you, they're on level, 2 when they're actually on level 10. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing. It says, meaning that travelers could end up breezing through airports without the need to uncover their mouths and noses at border checks. Do you see? Look at this. This is what stood out to me in this too. They are using, this article is talking like it's a good thing, right? Well, look, you can leave your face mask right on and you can go right through the airports or wherever you have to because we'll know who you are, so you don't even need to do any checks. You just go right through because of the software. People, this is horrible. This is insane. Do you realize what they're doing? This is a precedent, setting precedents, putting this stuff out everywhere in the world, okay? Oh, well, look, this is just because they're wearing masks for CD because of the pandemic. Oh, well, so they got these awesome new facial recognition technologies now, so we don't even got to take off our face mask. It's so awesome. This is so cool, right? No. What about in 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years when this whole thing is gone? CD isn't even being talked about anymore, but guess what's still there? All of the technology. The technology that's tracking, tracing, and watching and controlling everything that you're going to do, okay? It says, the trials were organized as part of a yearly biometric technology rally organized by the Science and Technology Directorate, S&T, which is the Research and Development Unit within the DHS. Every year since 2018, the rally brings together experts, technology vendors, and volunteers to test top-notch biometric systems and make sure that they are up to the challenges posed by the use of facial recognition technology in a variety of scenarios. Get it? In a variety of scenarios. They will never just be using this the way they are telling you. They will be using it in so many other ways, okay? It says, this year in response to the new imperative brought by the CV-19 pandemic, the rally has focused on evaluating the ability of AI systems to reliably collect and match images of individuals wearing an array of different face masks with a view of eventually deploying the technology in international airports around the country. Well, guess what? It will be around the world, and it will not just be at airports. You know that you've seen, a lot of Walmarts, you can tell, are already using this type of stuff. There is so much going on, but, this is all about, what? AI, right? The AI takeover. We know a lot of this stuff is all tied together, okay? But I need to cut this here. This is going to run too long. Sorry, I kind of get into so many things. I'm just trying to put these videos together a little bit for you because when I try to break them down, I seem to getting blocked more. But when I piece them, or when I put them together like this, instead of separating each article, they're seeming to at least get through. So I'm going to keep trying to do them like this, try to keep them around 20 minutes. And hopefully we can get through that for you. So, but we'll leave it here. Everybody stay safe, stay strong, continue to pray, please. We all need to be together in this. Continue to protect your family at all costs. Make your plan and stick to it, and make sure that everyone in your family knows what you're going to do if this situation arises, okay? I love you all. Everybody, we'll talk to you all real soon. God bless.